Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Investor Connection. Today, I'm going over NFTs and what you need to know about them to take advantage of this amazing opportunity as well as cryptocurrency. NFTs, a lot of people believe, can grow your wealth faster than cryptocurrency can. So I've been exploring it for a while. I've been diving in to understand it, and I'm going to teach you everything that I've learned in the process. So the first thing I want to talk about is what is an NFT and why is it important in this whole grand scheme of things when it comes to investing and looking at your financial future, your generational wealth, right? So NFTs are the acronym means non-fungible tokens. So that means things that are going to change in value based on different traits and stuff like that. But everything, so a fungible item is $1. Every dollar is worth the same amount of dollar. Non-fungible is when you can have multiple dollars, but maybe each one is signed by someone else. So if the dollar signed by me is worth nothing, and then the dollar signed by Michael Jordan is worth more, then those two items are different. So you can get more money for one or the other. So basically, non-fungible tokens are a way where people can invest in things and then participate in the upside, or create things and participate in the upside. So if you are a creator, you can create a non-fungible token of something that you've created, art, a collector's item that you've created, and then you get a percentage of every sale from the future resales of that item. That's what makes non-fungible tokens, NFTs, such a big opportunity. So where I like to start is to explain what that is. And then I came into the space after I came into the crypto space, of course, right? Crypto was something most people say, invest in Bitcoin, invest in Ethereum. So when I started to do that, I was like, okay, what else is there? I started to dip my feet into the decentralized finance world. Then I started to really see all these pieces, and NFTs have a piece of decentralized finance in them. So why did I start buying? Because I wanted to learn. I told myself this year I needed to just learn this whole ecosystem. I'm not thinking about cryptocurrency as just going to buy a few coins this year, make a couple bucks, and that's it. I'm looking at cryptocurrency as going to change everything, and I want to be as embedded in it as possible. So I want to take these learnings and really, really make them the generational wealth I need to make for my kids, right? So one thing I started to do was understand the space. I started being on Clubhouse, where a lot of people were talking about NFTs, and it was just mind-blowing to me, because as a creative first, I stopped being a creative because it couldn't fund my life, right? There was always this idea of a starving artist. So I never wanted to be a starving artist. So I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn the technology side of things. I don't want to be a starving artist. So I'm going to go into tech and use my art skills to make money. So, and then what ended up happening was I pretty much left my art side for dead, because technology was making me the money I needed to fund my life. And then this NFT thing woke it up in a way that I haven't felt since high school. And I was like, wow, maybe there is a way that I could make money as an artist again, or at least get back into that feeling that art gives you, whether you create it or you just buy it. Art is special, right? People need art in their lives in a way, right? So I said, okay, I never really was able to collect art. So what is the way of getting into that world? So this is where I said, okay, I could kill all the birds with one stone by getting into NFTs and saying, okay, understanding how to create them, understanding how to invest in them, understanding the communities that generate them. So I'm going to walk you through every single NFT that I've ever created. I mean, ever not created, ever purchased. I did create a few just to learn. I haven't sold any. But every one that I've ever purchased in order and what happened. It's not that many. I mean, there's a few, but I'll go through the newer ones. I'll go through the early ones, and then I'll go through the latest ones, because the early ones is I was just learning, making a bunch of mistakes. And the latest ones, I've been doing pretty decent, even up to last night. There was a huge thing that happened last night that I can't wait to show you guys. But first, I want you guys to take this poll. If you go to miguelislive.com, I want to know how many people watching actually own an NFT, or don't own an NFT, or don't even know what an NFT is still after watching this. If you still don't know what an NFT is, I definitely want to make sure I'm helping you educate yourself on what it is, because I do believe it's going to change business. It's going to change collecting. It's going to change artists. It's going to change creativity and the funding of it. So it's huge. It's a huge opportunity. So, okay. So I'm going to now pull up my OpenSea. So if you're on the YouTube, actually, it might be everywhere, but I'm not sure. There's a link to my collection on OpenSea. And on OpenSea, it doesn't show all of my NFTs as well. That's another thing. Different blockchains show NFTs in a different way. Ethereum happens to be the main blockchain of NFTs, and this is why I'm so bullish on the space on Ethereum and NFTs, because they both help each other to grow. NFTs help Ethereum grow, and Ethereum helps NFTs grow. So, and I'll explain why that is. So think about collecting art. Let's say you buy a painting off from a gallery. I was at Sotheby's this weekend because of NFTs and my knowledge of it. I was invited to help people understand it. And there's paintings and art and all that. Let's say you buy one of them at Sotheby's. You pay 5,000 American USD. In 100 years, maybe not. Let's not go to 100. In 10 years, maybe that art is worth $10,000, right? So you sell that art for 10,000 US dollars. But the US dollar has a problem right now where inflation is causing it to be worth less. So in 10 years, $10,000 may only buy you about what $5,000 bought you when you bought it. So that's a huge thing to understand. But let's say you bought that artwork in Ethereum. And Ethereum right now is worth, let's say, $3,500. In 10 years or 5 years, let's say, 10 years, some people believe Ethereum will be worth $100,000 per coin. So if you bought that art for one Ethereum, now it's worth $100,000 from $3,500 without even the value changing, right? So imagine if that artist becomes more popular and now someone's willing to give you 2 Ethereum for it. Now you have $200,000 from 3,000, 3,500, right? That's where the NFT space has this huge opportunity, right? Because what happens with art in the real world? Rich people buy art to store their wealth in a way, like gold. And then what can you do with art? There's $1 million art collections. What do people do with that? Just hang it on walls? No, they borrow off of their art collection to live life. You hear about people living off interest, and this is why I talk about creating your own crypto bank. NFTs is another way of creating a crypto bank. If you buy a piece of art that's worth 1 Ethereum, make the math easy, and then it goes to worth 1.5 Ethereum, you made half an Ethereum more. But Ethereum also is going up in value versus the dollar is going down in value. That's huge. If you really start to wrap your brain around it, it's an amazing opportunity. And the idea of an NFT now is most people don't even know what it is. Imagine when the world understands it. It's going to be way more valuable. So, okay, I'm going to start showing you my NFTs. We're going to just go through them, and I'm just going to explain why I did it. And also, there's a con to NFTs that I have been thinking about, right? So let's say you buy an NFT for 1 Ethereum, and you buy it from some artist that you believe will be popular one day. So that 1 Ethereum today is worth 3,500. In 10 years, that 1 Ethereum is worth 100,000 maybe, right? Not financial advice, but let's say it was, and nobody wants to give you 1 Ethereum for that art. you could have been better off just keeping the Ethereum, right? So there's risk in that, right? There might be risk where one day the value of that you paid for it, let's say you paid 3,500 today, one Ethereum, maybe in 10 years, people won't even want to give you the one Ethereum back, right? So would it have been better just to keep the Ethereum? Maybe. So that's the kind of thing I do think about a lot when I'm purchasing an NFT. I'm like, is it better just to keep this Ethereum than to buy this NFT? And that's a question we all ask ourselves. It's true. But the way I see it is I'm buying NFTs that I believe will get me more Ethereum. And now there's the NFTs that create passive income as well. So imagine having an art piece that pays you every month on top of that, value growing. So I'll get to some of those as well. So all right, I'm gonna go to my OpenSea. Oops, I gotta do it in the Brave browser. So okay, all right, I'm gonna share this. So again, take the poll. Do you own an NFT at miguelislive.com? All right, so now I'm gonna remove this. Oops, stop the stream. And I'm gonna start a new one. Share screen. All right, window. All right, so now here's my NFTs. Here's what and this is just Ethereum. I'm going to start with Ethereum because it has the best learning that I've learned. It's all started with Ethereum, right? So this is not in order of when I bought them. This is just order of, I don't even know how it creates the order of this. Basically, I think it has to do with naming convention or something like that. But hold on, let me try to the NFT. All right, so wait, there's some questions. The NFT tech makes 100% sense to me long term, but I need you to explain to me how this isn't a bubble. For instance, Gary Vee is doodling and getting into Sotheby's. That just makes no sense to me. Good question. That's a good question because and I had a semi argument with an art collector at Sotheby's about this. Literally, not an art collector, art creator. She does amazing work. Her work is in Hudson Yards. Incredible artist. She said the same thing. This is tulip. What if it's tulip mania? And I said, look, the blockchain, whatever you think about art, let's separate art from the blockchain. If you understand technology in the blockchain, you understand that the blockchain is forever. Like there's really no way of going back. There's literally billions of dollars going through this. It's like the internet. Once the internet was turned on, how do you go back to a world where there's no internet? You don't. Same thing is happening with blockchain. Blockchain is forever until they come up with a better solution to trusting each other in commerce and in everything. Blockchain is going to be around. What blockchain creates is a way for us all, everybody on the planet, to monetize the value of anything we want. That is pretty crazy. The internet came and it gave us democratized information. So anybody could go online and get information from anywhere in the world. Web 2.0 was social media. It allowed all of us to interact with anybody in the world. I could tweet Jennifer Lopez. Doesn't mean she needs to answer me, but I could tweet her, right? And sometimes that did happen. People do interact that you may never have ever been able to interact with because of social media. Web 3.0 has added this layer of value that can be transferred through cryptocurrency. You can quickly pay people, give people money for things that are in the virtual space in the metaverse. So if you don't believe in any of that, sure, this may feel like tulip mania. And this is where it takes your own, like, you got to go down your own rabbit holes with all these things. When it comes to cryptocurrency, do you believe that this is the way of the future, that people are going to be paying each other, that commerce is going to be done, how businesses are going to be created and run? That rhymed. I do believe that as a technologist. Then do you believe in the metaverse? Do you believe that people will more likely shop online than in person? You don't even have to believe that. That's already the case. If you look around, go around any hot spot where you thought there was a lot of stores other than like the Times Squares of the world, you don't see that many stores open anymore. Why? They all went online. If I told you 20 years ago, would you rather the Gap.com or the Gap on 42nd Street? 100% of you would have said, I'll take the Gap on 42nd Street. I would have said, I'll take the Gap.com. And most people were like, you're crazy. Why would you do that? It's online. Who's going to do that? I said, in 20 years, you all will be doing it. You'll see. And I was building e-commerce stores. So I saw it. I was like, how can you compete with this? The major arguments were, how are you going to try on the clothes? And I was like, that will be figured out later. I don't know the answer to that right this second, but I do know convenience and innovation always wins. This is convenience and innovation, right? So when you talk about Gary Vee and his NFT is not just him selling doodles. This is like, and of course, whatever you think of Gary Vee, some people believe highly of him, some people don't. He is putting his butt on the line and saying, look, for the rest of my life, my goal is to make that NFT more valuable to the people that own it. And I messed up. This is one of my NFTs that I wish I would have bought, because I could have bought one for like 2 Ethereum. But back then that was like $6,000. Right now, the cheapest Gary Vee NFT you can buy is 17 Ethereum. That's 15 more Ethereum I could have made if I ever wanted to sell it. And that's in a couple of months. This just happened, right? So that's one great example. But the reason why I didn't do it is because I was early to the understanding of NFTs. And I had the 2 Ethereum, but I was working in decentralized finance. So I was working on how to gain my Ethereum that way. I didn't see NFTs exploding as much as you see them now. Back then, they weren't exploding like that. So, except one, the CryptoPunks. So, I hope that answers your question, because what he's doing is he's saying, look, if you buy this NFT, you come along with the ride for me. And by owning it, you're going to have access to things that most people won't have access to. So you're going to want to be involved. So let me start showing you guys these NFTs, because at 1 o'clock, I'm going live on Clubhouse, and I'll be bringing people onto here too. But I just want to make sure I'm going through the NFTs so the Clubhouse conversations are not too visual. So, okay, let's go back. All right, so this is my NFT web profile. And again, if you're on YouTube, you can see it. So remember, this is not an order of priority at all. And you're going to see crazy stuff here. Like, what the hell? Why would you buy any of this stuff, right? Me learning. This was the first NFT I bought. All right, you can see it. So the first NFT I purchased was this one, Rare Pizzas. Why did I do that? I did that because during that time, I was on Clubhouse almost every day listening to people that knew about NFTs talk about everything NFTs are going to be, what they're going to do. And this group that started out of Clubhouse, I was in the rooms as they were talking about they wanted to feed the world through NFTs. And I was like, that's interesting. How the hell are you going to do that? And basically what they were saying is it's a joke based on the first Bitcoin purchase was pizza pies. So this guy bought pizza with Bitcoin. Now that Bitcoin would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So the joke was, if we take crypto and feed the world through pizza, it will be a homage to that situation, right? So I said, all right, that sounds cool with me. Let me just keep understanding. I kept being in the rooms, kept trying to understand. And then they said, okay, we're going to launch this pizza party, a global pizza party. So how are we gonna feed people? People are gonna buy this NFT, and then we're going to pay for people's pizza around the world, because the people who bought the NFT will pay for the pizza. But you're gonna get this NFT that eventually will be more valuable because you did this. So they said, all right, we're gonna release so many things around this pizza box. And I was like, look, worst case scenario, I feed some people. but I'm learning NFTs, and they were creating a Discord channel, and that was the first time I started really understanding Discord. I went into the Discord, and by the way, if you want to get into Mass Ideation's Discord, it's massideation.community. Put that in the browser, and you'll jump into our community as well. I'm building all this stuff as well. So first week, I go into the Discord. It's pretty empty. People are talking. I forget about it. I come back a few weeks later. It's like a whole operation out of Discord. Like literally, they were running. It felt like a Fortune 500 company out of Discord, and it was amazing. So then they launched the NFT. I bought it. So here's what I learned with this. I bought it for 0.5 Ethereum. I want to say like half an Ethereum. And back then, Ethereum was like $1,400. So I paid like $700 for this NFT. And I said, all right, worst case scenario, like I said, I fed some people around the world, but I'm going to use this to learn. And if you look now, the floor price of these NFTs is 0.01. So I lost 0.4 Ethereum. If you look at it just in the Ethereum point of view. But that's right now. Maybe in 10 years, once the story, and they're talking about doing movies, cartoons, they're doing a bunch of stuff. They raised like $500,000 or more on this NFT. So they're building, and the community is still strong. So what did I learn from this? And here's the pizzas. Like, there's a bunch of different pizza boxes that, people own different pizzas. So when you minted, you got a random piece of pizza box. And then they're going to give you pizza slices, and there's all kind of stuff that's going to come with this. So this was the first one I did. I'm gonna start getting ready for the Clubhouse too, but that was the first one I did. And what I learned now is, do I believe somebody's gonna pay me half an Ethereum for this right now? I don't know. If I had to bet on it right this second, I would say probably not, until more comes out. Right this second, doesn't make sense to sell this, and I'll probably keep it just to keep it. Like I'll say that half an ETH, I invested it, right? The big thing is that half of an ETH in 10, 20 years, if Ethereum becomes $100,000, $200,000 per coin, that could be $50,000, $100,000, right? Again, there are other factors where there may be places where you're going to be able to borrow off of your NFTs, just like art collections. But again, the value of them is going to be subjective. So, okay, that was the first one. Then I started learning about the domain names. You can buy your own domain name. You know how you have .com? Well, you can buy .eth, and .eth basically lets you take money. So like, let's say I say, hey, pay me in Ethereum through Coinbase. Like, let's say I do a project for you, or you want me to sponsor something or work or do anything. And I'm like, all right, just go to Coinbase and pay me at miguelsanchez.eth. What will happen is you will send Ethereum right into my wallet through miguelsanchez.eth. It basically is like a layer that sends to your wallets. So you could do this with different Bitcoin and everything through your .eth name. And you can also host websites and all that, all through your .eth name. So I was like, wow, that is the future. So of course I bought my name, my company name, and my nonprofit name, Meta Bronx. So I did Miguel Sanchez, Meta Bronx, and Mass Ideation. I bought a few more. I hid them because until I launched the project, I don't want people to know. So you can buy those at ens.domains. So you want to own your own name in .eth at least. So okay, then I said, okay, I want to buy land. I said, okay, so if I buy these NFTs, where am I going to show them other than OpenSea? So I said, people are going to want to have land where they're showing their NFTs, like museums eventually. So I started to look at Decentraland. Decentraland is one of the top metaverses around. It's built on Ethereum. There's a limited amount of land, and there were a lot of parties, a lot of NFT parties going on. And I was going to them in Decentraland. I'm like, oh my God, owning land here is going to be the move. So I said, okay, let's go see what the land costs. So the first time I go to the land, it was like $3,000. And I was like, damn, $3,000. I don't got $3,000 for that. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to buy the land. I'm just going to chill. Maybe it goes down and I'll, maybe I'll eventually figure out how to get some. I came back in 2 weeks. The land was $9,000. And I was like, oh, if I would have bought it, it would have been 3 times more valuable in like 2 weeks. So when I say what it was worth, a big thing you have to understand with NFTs is the price that you pay is really not what it's worth. So for this one, I bought it for 10,000 mana. Mana right now is worth like 77 cents. So that's $7,700. But mana has gone up to $1.50 and plus. If that happens, then it's going to be worth 15,000 plus, right? But that's just off the value of the currency. Remember, like I told you about the dollar and Ethereum, mana is the same idea. The value of mana is the currency of Decentraland. So I said, all right, what I'll start to do then is I will start buying mana. So every time I saw there was dips, I would buy some mana. Every time I saw it go up, I would sell some mana. Every time I seen it go down, I buy more mana. And eventually I had more than 10,000 mana. So I said, all right, now I'm going to start searching for properties. So when you go into OpenSea, you can click the main project. And when you click buy now, it will take you to the cheapest. It's called the floor. These are the floors. So this is the cheapest ones you can buy. So right now, the cheapest is 4,300. If you wanted to buy this piece of land right now, you would need 1.21 ETH. I think that's a good deal. I would buy that if it was my first time, because look at where it is. It's in the middle of streets. But what I do like is I wanted one that was on a street, because I believe just like in the real world, people are going to be walking around the streets one day. Right now, 80,000 people, I think 90,000 people a day are in OpenSea. They say by next year, it's going to be 1 million people a day. That's just like Times Square, right? So I said, all right, I need to own this now. So that last dip, the bad one a few weeks ago, I finally got enough mana and I purchased the one where I wanted it to have. All right, I'll show you really quickly. So I like this one because it had 3 sides. So I can do stuff on 3 sides of a street that people are going to be walking in. So I haven't built it yet, but already I'm getting so many opportunities from owning this land. I was in a Clubhouse yesterday and somebody said, look, I'm doing a special type of NFT. I want to partner with somebody with land. I was in the room and I was up top. I said, I have land. He reached out and now I'm going to be a part of a project, own a percentage of a project because I own land. Just like in the real world, stuff like this, assets like this put you in environments where you can reap more reward. And I knew that because you know about it with real estate, right? It's going to be the same thing in this world. So I'm about to go on Clubhouse too. I'm going to bring people on Clubhouse as I continue to show these NFTs. All right. So if you want to have a conversation with me, of course, you could definitely ask questions here. But if you want to have a conversation with me, jump on the Clubhouse. All right. So next question. Hey, Paco, I'm on YouTube too. I'm showing everybody the NFTs I've purchased and why. Welcome everybody to the Beginner's Mind Clubhouse. If you don't know what Beginner's Mind is, me, Paco, and a few other people, Ozzy, Damaris, Sylvia, we are creating content to help people come at things with a beginner's mind. And my area of expertise is cryptocurrency, and I want people to understand how to bring a beginner's mind to cryptocurrency. So we go live every day talking about it. So today I'm going over what NFTs I've purchased and why. And if you're able to jump on the YouTube, I'm showing visually what NFTs I bought, but I'm explaining it as well. So the first question, so NFTs are only art? No, NFTs are collectibles, art, access. There's utility tokens, which mean like you get special things like passive income. And I'm going to show you, there's some NFTs that they give you a percentage of all the sales of the NFT. So there's an NFT right now where people are making $1,000 a day from owning that NFT. Crazy stuff. I do not own that NFT. I freaking wish I knew about it before it launched, but I didn't. All right, so domain names. Now you're talking. I don't understand anything else yet. So, okay, I was just talking about how you can buy your own domain name as an NFT and then use it to get paid, to launch projects, to do all kind of stuff. So, again, if you want to go back and watch the video, I can do that. Or if there's any questions on the Clubhouse, definitely ask. But I'm basically going through I'm on my second NFT I've bought. The first one I bought was called Rare Pizzas. I bought it because I was part of the community that was building up Rare Pizzas. And then when they launched the NFT, I thought it made sense for me to buy it. It was the first one. I was trying to understand it. They helped me so much in understanding NFTs that I said, okay, I'm going to spend this half of Ethereum to buy it. But back then, Ethereum was worth $1,400. So now Ethereum is worth $3,500. So it's a much different thing. So I'll keep explaining things like that as I keep showing the NFTs that I purchased. All right, so the next NFT I purchased was, okay, so first was the Rare Pizzas, then it was the .eth names. Around then is when I created my own. I was trying to understand how to make them, right? But then I said, okay, I need to own land, but I didn't buy it. Remember, I started to research it. So this NFTs is like any investment, coins, real estate. You have to do due diligence. So I needed to understand the due diligence process of NFTs, right? Because they were brand new to everybody. And I took my startup investing stuff, my real estate investing stuff, and I said, okay, how do I do due diligence on NFT? So first thing I said was, okay, why am I buying this? Right? So this is a big thing that you got to understand. If you're just buying NFT, just like if you're just buying a coin, without understanding why you're buying it, you're gambling, right? So again, I always say you're either saving, investing, trading, or gambling. I added saving in there. I used to just say investing, trading, gambling. Saving is another thing that you can do with cryptocurrency. That back then when I first started saying this, I didn't really understand, but I do now. Okay, so with art, if you take it back to the traditional art, people buy art to hold value, but also it gives them a good feeling in seeing it, right? So people buy art to hang in their walls in their house, so when they walk by it, they get a feeling, right? So if you're doing it for that, that's cool. So there's certain things here that I started to say, okay, worst comes to worst. If I'm stuck with this because nobody wants to give me more than I paid for it, am I going to be happy with that? So, okay, but I'll keep going on the NFTs that I purchased. The next one I think I bought was Shakespeare Avenue, where I grew up, Bronx. So I grew up on the block where the Joker steps in the last movie were, in the Bronx. So there was this platform being created where they allowed people to put virtual objects on the real world. This is called augmented reality. If you know me, I've been in augmented reality for 10 years. I've done speeches around the world about augmented reality, and I believe the future of how we interact with the internet is going to be in augmented reality. So when this launched, I was like, I have to own the first augmented reality blockchain project. And I said, where would I want to buy though? And I said, on the Joker steps, the block I grew up on. And eventually Warner Brothers is going to have to come to me to do anything on those steps. So I bought this land. It's basically, I bought a square of land on this app. And of course, it was risky. It cost me probably like $150 plus gas. Gas fee is the Ethereum blockchain fee to buy things. Basically, it's like a transaction fee. So the gas fee back then was pretty high. I think it was probably like $75. So I basically paid like $225 for this land. Now, the cheapest land for this type of is, okay, I'm making everybody moderators. The cheapest land is 0.14 ETH. All right, so I'm going to tell you how much that is in actual dollars. So if you click this, You can see, so the cheapest land right now is $507. So again, okay, so I spent about $225, and now the cheapest I can sell this for is $500. So if I was investing in it just as a gain in getting more Ethereum, I could do that right now. I can sell it and get more Ethereum. Will that be the case in the future? I don't know. But I didn't buy it for that. I didn't buy it to get more Ethereum. I bought it so if this project ever becomes something big, I will be able to use the Joker steps on the block I grew up in for the project. And I'll be able to control it and do whatever I want on it. So that, to me, again, was just like the pizza thing. I looked at it as I was investing in an idea. But at least with the pizza thing, I was feeding people too, right? When I bought that Ethereum, when I paid that half of Ethereum, a lot of that money was going to go towards feeding people around the world. So I felt like it was a do good thing. Plus, it would remind me of me getting into the NFT space. So when you are a collector or an investor, those things kind of matter to you, right? Like you got to figure out why you're doing it. So okay, that was the third one. So I'm trying to explain why I did it and the thought process. Back then, I had no real idea of these things are going to be worth a lot more one day. Because, for instance, that one that I just showed you, I could have bought Times Square instead of buying my old block in the Bronx. I could have bought Times Square. I could have bought Madison Square Garden, but I didn't because I was like, I don't want to keep spending $200 plus gas. I mean, like $200, $250-ish. I'm not going to spend $750 on something that I have no idea if it will ever come to fruition. So I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to buy one. But now if I could go back, I would always buy 3 of an NFT. I believe it's worth investing 1 in. Why is that? Because if I would have had 3 of these, the first thing I would have did right now was I would have sold one of the blocks. Right? Let's say, but of course, if I would have had those 3, maybe I would have held them. But let's say if I just bought 3 NFTs, I would have sold one to get my initial investment back. This is something Paco always talks about. Get your investment back as soon as you can. So right now, I could have sold 1 and got my whole 3 investment back. And that is a strategy I use now. So if I'm going to buy an NFT now, I try to only buy NFTs that I can buy 3 of. This way, if they start to explode, I can get my initial investment back by selling 1 of them. Then the other 2 are just house money, right? So hopefully it goes up and these things are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars one day. And if they are and it makes sense, I can sell 1 and I still have another one to hold forever. And maybe when I die, my kids sell for millions of dollars, right? So that's how I'm strategizing now with NFTs. Back then, I didn't know that. So, okay, that was another thing. Any questions from anybody based on anything I said in the Clubhouse and on the YouTube and anywhere else? Definitely ask. Anybody in the Clubhouse, anything? All right, so wait, there's another question on YouTube. What makes them authorized to sell virtual space in the first place? Good question. Can someone else come along and offer that same spot on a different app? That's a great question. The reason why I invested in this specific app, you're right. Yes, I could come up with my same app idea, sell the same land. The reason why I invested in that specific project was because of the team. So this was the same idea with investing in anything, startups. The team is the first thing that you need to be looking at. That team, the guy was on Clubhouse. He was coming on Clubhouse talking to the community. The community was tearing up his idea. And the way he answered and dealt with that, I was like, this guy is solid. Like he was taking missiles in Clubhouse and he was just dodging them and using, great poise and answering great answers. And I'm like, wow, he's pretty good at this. Then I looked up the overall team and the board of directors. And I saw some massive people in the augmented reality space because, of course, I've been in it for 10 years. I saw the biggest names in augmented reality on his board. So I said, wait a minute, this guy came on Clubhouse, understands he has to build community, even though they were tearing him up. He landed it well. Plus, he convinced those people to be on his board. If anybody is going to make it, I will put my money on this guy and that board, right? So I said, all right, I'm going to put the $200. It's not like I'm investing millions of dollars, but this is how it works when you are investing a lot of money as an angel investor or a venture capital firm. It's the same process. So that's why I invested in that one. That was a great question. All right. So any other questions? Of course, always for the Clubhouse people, just ask if you have them. All right. So the next thing I bought was, okay. The next thing I bought was Astro Friends. So this was one where I really said, all right, I need to start understanding these profile picture things. Like, because, you know, I was like, I don't get the profile picture thing. Why would you buy an NFT that's your profile picture? So I said, all right, I'm going to look for one of those that I believe maybe could do well. Again, this was pre my strategy of buying 3. So I bought this Astro Friends because the artist was the artist from Rick and Morty. So I said, wait, is this connected to Rick and Morty? Because I had heard Rick and Morty, the creators of Rick and Morty, were going to do something really crazy with NFTs, like some content universe around NFTs. So I was like, maybe this is part of it. Again, I didn't know that was the bulk of my research. And I looked at it, but it wasn't connected to the Rick and Morty crew, but he was an artist. And they were giving away a drawing from Rick and Morty or something like that. So I said, all right, let me buy it. I bought it. Is it worth more than I bought it for? Let's see what's the minimum you can buy one for right now. The minimum you can buy one of these for is $214. So probably not. I think I paid like $300 for this. Again, $300 in Ethereum. So there's 2 ways to look at it. That's $300 that I'm like, all right, I spent $300, or that Ethereum. Is it better just to keep the Ethereum, or is it better to own the NFT? This I'm struggling with. Even anytime I buy an NFT, I think, is it better to keep the Ethereum or to buy this? And I would love anybody's thoughts on that, especially you, Milan. You're an NFT guy. You're building an NFT project. What do you think about that? When you buy an NFT, do you think about the Ethereum you're spending and if it's going to be worth more to just hold the Ethereum, or maybe you'll get more Ethereum on that NFT? But what happens if you don't?
Dude, I haven't bought Ethereum chain NFT in so long. I think the last one I bought was the Lambda, and that was probably like 2 months ago.
Oh, so you mostly buy NFTs on other platforms? Is that what you're saying?
I don't like the high gas fees. I don't think that makes sense because, like, if you think about it, you kind of gotta, and this is something we were talking about before, you gotta 3x your money before you actually could withdraw because you don't really know what the gas fee is gonna be, right? So I don't like that the gas fee could one day be at, $50 and then the next day could be like 9,000. It just doesn't make sense. Right? So
that's really true.
I'd rather just stick with like Matic or Solana and just know that it's always going to be low and I can watch my profits go up. And then when I feel like I want to sell it or even stake it, I can do that. I can't even stake my Ethereum based NFTs. I got to pay a gas fee to stake it and even take it out of the stake.
We spoke about that the other day. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing though. A lot of the NFT collectors, they mostly believe in Ethereum for some reason because of the security and all that. And that gas fee is savage, I know. So you got to kind of throw your gas fee into your investment price. So like I said, if I paid $150 for that land and it cost me $75 of gas, I really invested $225. So if I want my money back, I need to make more than $225, not $150, right? And sometimes, like Milan said, in certain times of Ethereum, like growing in usage, the gas fees go crazy. Like I've literally seen somebody send me a screenshot of a $9,000 gas fee. But of course, you just don't do it at that time. You wait but sometimes you really need to do something. And that's the problem with Ethereum right now, but they're planning on fixing that. So that's true. And I've also messed with other blockchains, like Immutable X just came out. Matic, I've been on Matic for a long time. So I'll keep going. All right. So then I said, all right, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I don't really know how to study NFTs. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to find really good people that do know how to flip NFTs and make money on NFTs. I'm going to find their wallets and I'm going to see what they buy, right? So that's what's beautiful about the blockchain. This is public, especially if you want it to be public. Like my M Sanchez World on OpenSea, you can literally watch any NFT I buy that I want to show publicly. I can keep it there. I can hide them too. So I went on to a very popular guy who just sold an NFT for like $1 million, and I saw what was he buying. So I said, all right, he was buying these rooms, RUUMZ. But what I didn't know back then was a lot of these projects would just airdrop popular people their NFT. So then it looks like they bought it for stupid people like me. So you can't just go by what's in other people's wallets, because some of that stuff could be free that they're just getting airdropped, and you're about to spend a bunch of money on it because you think it's worth more than it is. So I ended up doing that. Lucky these rooms were pretty cheap. I think I actually might tell me what I paid for them. I think I paid like $80 for them. But I saw them in his wallet. And I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing. So if, yeah, 0.062 Ethereum. I think that's something like $80. So I bought 2 of them. But I learned something this week actually about this tool called Rarity Tools. So this is one of the best ways to start studying NFTs. It's called Rarity Tools. This is a website that breaks down NFTs and the value of them, and then even down to the type of NFT you have in your collection. So if I go here and I'm going to go to rooms, right? I'm going to show you what it'll do is it'll go to your wallet and it shows you the ones you have and the rarity of them. So when I looked at these, I mean, this just happened like this week. I found out I have good rare versions of this. So if this ever does become something, I did know better than to buy only one when I did this. I bought 2 for $80 just in case one did well. I would sell one, keep the other one, right? That was when I learned go at least buy 2. Now I learned at least buy 3, right? So that one has a good rarity score. This one has a good rarity score. So you want to look at all of these pieces, right? But of course, this project is not doing that well right now. It's probably worth not much. But again, I'm just teaching you the lessons that I learned, right? The major lesson here is don't just go into people's wallets and just believe that they bought, so you should buy. Because now that I'm showing you my wallet, you may start to do the same thing with me. But you need to make sure you start creating your own version of due diligence and your own version of why am I buying this? When I bought this, I was not thinking, why am I buying this? I was thinking, I'm buying this because this guy just sold $1 million NFT and he's like Samsung, anything he touches turns to gold. So is that the guy? Whatever. So I said, you know what? If it's in his wallet and it's $80, might as well try. Let's see what the minimum of that one is right now. So the way to look at the minimum is you go to the actual project on OpenSea, and then you look at the floor price. So one thing I was learning is at least go in and buy some floor level ones, because the floor level ones are the cheapest. And if it does pop off, you can make. So now they're worth $61. So I lost $20 minimum, but I got 2 rare ones. So I probably could get my money back, right? Or it could go to 0. It's another thing, right? These are not as liquid as cryptocurrency, right? So if you bought Ethereum today and you wanted to sell Ethereum today, there's a bunch of people that'll buy it off of you. There's a bunch of exchanges that you can put it in, and quick swap and Uniswap, stuff like that, where you can just swap it and get your money out. With NFTs, that's not the case. It's just like art, just like real estate. You need to find somebody that's willing to buy it at your price. So it's not like tomorrow you're going to be able to sell it. So that's where you got to understand that it's not as liquid. You got to really have a strategy for owning it and why you want to have it. Where with coins, you just buy them and sell them really quickly if you want. So, all right. So then I did that. So that major lesson was But again, that was not the only time I did that. So that same day, I looked in this other huge influencer's wallet, and he was talking about how the gaming industry and NFTs is going to explode. He was saying, look, I believe the millionaires from right now going forward are not going to come from the cryptocurrency investors. They're going to come from the gaming cryptocurrency investors. So I said, okay, I'm going to take your advice on that. And I went in his wallet and I saw that he was collecting these Eververse characters. So I was like, Eververse. And at that point, you could still mint them. So the best time to get into an NFT is when you can be the first one to own it, because you're paying the cheapest price at that time. So I caught this. I saw a bunch in his wallet. I was like, damn, he has like 30 of these. He must really believe in this, right? So I said, all right, I'm going to buy 3. This is the first time I said, you know what? I'm going to buy 3. But I didn't do the 3 based on my strategy of selling. I did 3 because I had 3 boys that I wanted to get into cryptocurrency. So I said, okay, this is a gaming cryptocurrency, one of the first ones I've come across. I'm going to buy 3. I'm going to mint 3. And I think I minted 2 and then I bought another one. So I minted 2 and then I bought the third one for the floor, which I ended up paying less than the mint somehow. I don't know how I did that, but whatever. So I don't know where this one is going, but let's see where the floor is of this. I think the floor is higher than when I bought it. Any questions? Again, stop me, ask. I know this is super confusing stuff. Yeah, I think the floor is really low on this. Yep, it's super low. I think when I bought them, they were like 180 each, and now they're 125 minimum. Again, I have some good ones, so I might be able to get a little bit more. But the beauty of this is this game has not even really launched. And I did some homework on this one. This is the first game on Steam that uses NFTs. So if you're a PC gamer, which most of you are not, but my kids are, Steam is the #1 way kids play video games on computers. So I said, okay, this is the first NFT game on Steam. Maybe this is why this guy bought it. So I said, all right, I'm going to own 3. We'll see if it works out. It works out. Worst case scenario, again, I'm teaching my kids kids NFT and crypto, right? So I said, all right, that's the reason I own it. I showed my kids. They think they're cool. I showed them the game. They think it's cool. They're not really playing it yet, so that's a sign that it may not work out. So that was the next one, or 3 that I got. Again, any questions, hit me up anywhere. Let me check the YouTube if there's any other questions. What does it mean to mint? All right, good question. So minting is when you're the first one to write the contract on the blockchain. So the way these websites work is when you're about to buy an NFT, you go to the website and there's a button that says mint. And if there's still some available, you press mint and it opens up your MetaMask wallet and it tells you pay the mint price plus the gas fee. If you're the first person to do that, you have the best chance at gaining value, right? Because by the time all of them are sold and they're on the secondary market, then you're going to pay more, right? Because people are trying to sell them for more than they got them for. So if you're the first one to buy, it's kind of like these kids that wait in line for sneakers or Supreme clothing. It's because they go online and they're the first ones to buy it. So anybody that buys it off of them, they're going to make money. People can resell it after them forever. They don't care. They just want their first amount back. And usually the people who get it first, they get a big amount back because they can resell it because they're the first ones to have it. They can resell it for more. So it's the same idea in this space. And it's funny, me and Paco were having a conversation with my son, and he, in Roblox, Gucci did a drop of items. And my son was on, he got the first ones, and he's been waiting a full year to sell them because he knows he's going to make a lot more money by holding it for that long. So same idea here. You buy it and you hold it for like a special moment when you think it's going to really be important. And then maybe you sell the one for all of your initial investment back and then some. And now your house money. And I'm gonna explain. I'm keep going. All right. So the next one I did was The Goons. So this one I caught on Mint. The Goons are this project. It's a weird project, but it had two pieces that I was super interested in. One was it was play to earn. So all these other NFTs, none of them had play to earn in them. Play to earn means as the kids play the game, or the adults, they make actual money. So I saw this project. I did the research. I looked. They had play to earn, and they were going to come out with a coin. So I said, you know what? I caught this on Mint. Let me just buy two of them. It was 0.04 ETH. So I was like, all right, it was like maybe $60, $80, I forget, something like that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna buy two. Again, I wish I bought three. Didn't know that yet. So now the cheapest one is worth 0.14 ETH. So that's 0.10 more ETH off when I bought it. So that one I can say is up in value, right? But again, the game has not launched yet. When the game launches, the only way to play the game is if you have an NFT like this. So I think when that happens, these are going to be worth more because you're going to be able to make actual money by owning them. So that's why I did it. Again, not financial advice, but this is how I research them and what I think about. Again, any questions, ask them. We're having some good questions. Got it. Thanks. All right. So the next one I did was.
I got a question about what you think about Gan art.
I don't even know what that is. What's the link?
You don't know what Gan art is?
Nope.
Oh my God, it's gonna blow your mind, bro.
What is it?
You know what GPT-3 is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so imagine GPT-3 is combined with this software where you can put in words, like keywords, and it'll generate any photo you want by putting a bunch of photos together and making.
Oh, is this the guy who did the poem thing, Lost Words or whatever, Lost Poets, something like that?
No, I'm gonna send you a link, and if you want to do it live, you can. But it's just it'll blow your mind.
Can you put it on YouTube? Can you put it on the YouTube comments?
Yeah, let me hop in there real quick.
All right, thank you. So if you don't know what GPT-3 is, I think it's GPT-3. It's the most powerful AI software created so far. It's really, really well done, and most people believe it's to start down the path of AI that can do pretty crazy stuff. So what he's saying is they combine that with art to create. And I'm gonna take you down the path because I bought one that is AI art. Actually, I bought three that is AI art because of what he just said. I believe that's going to be a major thing in the future. Okay, so the next one I looked at. I think it was. Oh, it was this graffiti one. So this graffiti one is by an artist named Cope 2. I grew up in the Bronx, and I was very familiar with this guy's work because everywhere I went, I saw his work. So when I saw he was dropping his first NFT, I was like, I gotta own that. Like, graffiti's my thing. This guy is like part of my childhood. And it was pretty cheap. It was like $20. So I was like, all right, again, I wish I bought three. But I only bought two. And what's crazy is this weekend when we went to Sotheby's, he was there. So I met him this weekend. And I told him I bought his first NFT. He followed me on Instagram. I'm gonna see if I can work with him on some more NFT stuff. But again, I purchased that. I don't know if it'll ever go up in value. I just wanted to own his first NFT. If it goes up in value, cool. I think I'll probably sell one of the two and keep the other one just as a historic moment for myself. First NFT of a graffiti artist that's iconic from my borough, Puerto Rican, from the Bronx. Very, very known in the graffiti world. So that's why I collected that, right? That's my own art kind of thing. But I do have two. So if I got to sell one, I'll sell one. You know, I'm a capitalist too. So, and then I started, okay. So this is where I started to really try to understand what made these things valuable. Because this is when the NFT started exploding in value. Like I was seeing NFTs being sold for $1 million, $8 million, stuff like that. $69 million an NFT. And I'm like, what the hell? Why are they worth so much? What makes them worth that much? So I really started to go down the rabbit hole of what it is. So I'm going to tell you what I know from right now, what makes NFTs valuable. The historic value of them. We are in the first year of the explosion of NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain. And many people believe NFTs from this year are going to be some of the most valued in history because this year is where it became mainstream. So I said, okay, NFTs from this year, but there's a lot of them. That's crazy. Like, how are you going to know which ones to buy? Because so many are coming out. So then I started hearing that there were NFTs that came out before this year. And if you could get your hands on one of those are going to be worth a lot more one day. So I had been in Clubhouse for months and I said, you know what? I need to take a break on Clubhouse. I'm going to stay off Clubhouse for a week. And Milan, this was on the NFTs room that me and you were on yesterday. I said, you know what? I'm going to get off. I need to chill on these NFTs. On this Clubhouse thing. I come back the next week and this guy in the room found these NFTs called Mooncats. He was like a blockchain specialist and he found art on the blockchain that nobody had found. They were called Mooncats and you were able to mint them for free. But I was off of Clubhouse that week. I had been on like every day for months and I got off that week and he finds it that week. He tells everybody, hey, mint it for free. These are going to be worth money. This is from 2017. It's one of the only projects on the blockchain from 2017, and you can mint it for free. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed this. So again, I started looking. I'm like, why is that valuable? Because the art looks pretty bad to me. But again, CryptoPunks too, and CryptoPunks are the most valuable NFTs there are. But it's because they were minted in 2017. So that has historical value. It's not about the art. It's about the history of the blockchain. So I said, all right, I got to own one of these. But back then, everybody was selling them for like 20 Ethereum. And I was like, all right, I missed that boat. But I kept watching. I kept watching them. And I saw them get under 2 Ethereum. So I said, you know what? I think this is worth it because eventually these are the only ones from 2017. Once people understand that in 20 years, that this is the only NFTs from 2017, they're going to be worth more money than the Ethereum that I bought them with. Again, my own research. But then not only that, when I bought it, I said, this community is still keeping this very alive. They were creating crazy things. And then right after I bought it, guess what I see? I think it's either Christie's or Sotheby's. They're about to have an auction for Mooncats. So I said, all right, got it at the perfect time because once it hits those markets, it legitimizes the investment, right? Because people don't invest in things at Sotheby's and Christie's that hasn't like hit the level of this is real art and this has value, right? So I said, all right, I caught this like 2 or 3 weeks before they announced the Christie's thing or Sotheby's, one of the two. So again, this was me doing the research. But again, remember, I was there early. I could have been like, oh man, I'm just out. I missed it. But I kept watching it and just kept seeing what the community did. I was in the Discord watching what the community was doing, seeing they were still making projects. They're creating a soda brand. They're doing all kind of crazy stuff. And by owning one, you get all the rights to do anything you want with it. So I was like, this is like owning part of a brand that's going to have historical value, that is working hard to grow the value of that brand. I was like, you know what? I think it is worth more than what it's going to be worth more than Ethereum than what I paid right now. So I did it. Again, who the hell knows, right? Like I could be very wrong, but already I'm getting people trying to buy it off me for less ETH than I paid, but still a substantial amount of money. So again, this is not, it's not financial advice. It's just like what I'm learning as I do this. So while I was doing that, I listened to a podcast called proof.xyz. That's the website. You go to proof.xyz. He's a very well-known venture capitalist that is just dived into the NFT space. And he's like, this is the most amazing stuff I've ever seen. He's kind of like all in on NFTs. So I listened to his podcast, and he had this guy on the podcast where he was creating AI art. Like you were saying, Milan. But this guy, he created, I'm going to show you his thing. It's called Mirage Gallery. So he created two artists that are completely AI artists, Alejandra and Taylor. These are fake people. Like, this face was created with AI. This face was created with AI. These people do not exist. And if you interact with them on Twitter, they're using GPT-3. So they're answering you on Twitter, and they're AI. They don't exist. These people don't exist. So he made art that came from them using sets of data. So I saw he was talking about it on the project, and then he talked about his new project, which it's called Crypto Native, where he made art that evolves. And I was like, I came up with that idea a long time ago when I started looking at augmented reality. I said, augmented reality is going to make it so art can evolve. So when I saw that, I said, oh, this is the first project where the art evolves. I gotta see if I can own it. So I went, and it was still early. I caught it early. The way this art evolves is every time somebody buys it for 0.20 ETH more, the art changes. And it'll evolve 10 times before the art stops evolving. So I said, all right, I can own it early, and I'll wait till a lot of people have evolved their art, and I'll be one of the last people with art that hasn't evolved, and it probably will be worth money because his other stuff is already worth a lot of money. This was his next project that did something that has never been done before, right? So again, I looked at the team, person behind it. What were they doing? What is the opportunity for growth in value? But then I said, aesthetically, do I like it? So I went and I picked ones that I liked. So the ones that I liked were the ones that were cheap, and I liked. It wasn't just about liking, because some of them were crazy expensive. But like for this one, it didn't look like this when I bought it. Because I paid 0.2 ETH more than the person that paid before me, it changed. I could try to find, damn, it's going to be hard for me to find the one that when I bought it, what it looked like. But it basically was very similar. The scene changed. I think like the angle changed of the scene through AI or something like that. But it was pretty cool that I saw it evolve. I paid for it and evolved. After I paid for it and it landed on my OpenSea, I refreshed and it was different. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So that means eventually somebody will buy it for me for more ETH than I paid for it, right? It goes back to the original idea of, is it better to own the ETH or this NFT? And by him making the art evolve, that was a way for him to incentivize people to pay more in ETH, which I thought that was really genius. So I said, all right, I bought the two. And the other one I bought was, actually, this one evolved very different. This one, the picture looked very different. It was like a different color. It was like this, but it was different. It was like a very different color. And again, same idea. But the reason I bought this one was because if you look at the properties, they have, see, evolving. They all evolve, 100% evolve. I'm on phase 2 of the evolution, and they had two types, abstract and, see, abstract had 31% of them are abstract. Oops. And landscape had 20%. So I wanted to own one of each. So I said, all right, his idea sets it up to always make more, and I want to own two, and I definitely want to own the one that has less percent, more rare, right? So that's why I did it, and now they're worth, actually, let's go to the floor. Actually, they're worth more than I paid for them already. So the cheapest one right now that you can buy is 1,450. I think I paid like $600 for each one, something like that. Something like that. I forget exactly. Actually, wait, I could tell right now. Hold on. Because when you buy it, this is another thing. This is why the blockchain is so incredible. If you don't mint it, there's going to be a history of you buying it. And that's what makes the art proof that it's that value, because people are willing to pay for it. So there's proof. Because if I can buy a painting right now, let's say I go to Walmart, I buy a painting, and then I go to a gallery and I put it up and I say, this is worth $10,000. Somebody could buy it for $10,000, but I just got it off Walmart. They don't know that, right? There's no real way to prove the price difference, but on the blockchain there is, right? So let's look. So when I bought it, transferred to me, nope, that's not me. Okay, I bought it for 0.21 ETH. So right now the cheapest one is cheaper than I bought it. Again, any questions? Or let me just make sure I'm right about that. So 0.21 was the cheapest I bought it for. Okay, the floor is 0.15. So it is cheaper. It's less Ethereum than I paid, right? So that is the risk. Eventually, I might have to sell this for less Ethereum than I paid for it. But again, I believe this artist has a track record, and the way he set it up to evolve, I think it makes sense that I'll say, look, the only way you're going to buy it off me is you pay me 0.2 more in Ethereum, or I'm just going to keep it. And it's the first project that evolves. So I'll take it. So, but okay. So once I was doing that, and again, any questions anywhere, definitely ask. All right. I see some.
You, PTR real quick. You see my gain art.
Oh, wow. So PTR means
pull
pull to refresh. So you scroll down and then you can see his whoa. So this came straight out of AI.
That's all AI. So what I did is I put the keywords mad scientist with a twisted fantasy, and that's what it came up with. It came up with 10 different iterations of what I thought it wanted, and this was one of them.
So, and then what did you do? You made this an NFT, or is it an NFT?
This is an NFT, but then I had to burn it because this NFT got accepted in the Art of Motion event, which is going to be that event that's in Penn Station. So it's going to be showcased in Penn Station for the whole month of October.
And it's your own NFT. You own it because you created it.
This is mine. Yeah, this is mine. And then this is my AR artist. So I have an AR artist called Mad Lips, which is going to connect to the mirror images eventually. We'll have a conversation about that.
Nice. We got to talk. Yeah. I want to know about that. Also, tell people about this thing in Grand Station, wherever it is.
So Art in Motion is a event that Mogul and Motivate, I guess the two names on Clubhouse, they set up this event for 100+ artists to be showcased on all the billboards in Penn Station. So Mogul is actually one of the people that are in charge of all the billboards in like New York City. So he decided to, take Penn Station and showcase all the best artists.
So he forewent the ad money to put NFTs on the advertising.
Exactly, and he also partnered with OpenSea. They're having a live auction all day. So when people are going up and out of the Penn Station, they can actually buy these NFTs and scan it.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. So what? There'll be like QR codes on the art that you can scan and just buy it in OpenSea.
Yeah. So like, let's say you're walking upstairs, you might see my picture sitting there with a QR code. You scan it, you can buy the picture right there, or at least others bid on it.
That's really dope. See. This space is so incredible, man. Like, there's so much to be done here. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But I'm glad I'm going through. I know it's a lot of information. Hopefully people are following it. All right, evolving AI art is fascinating.
So $10 for 100 pictures. So if you want 100 pictures like I have, it costs $10, and it takes 30 minutes to do 10 of them.
What's the website?
I put it in your YouTube.
Oh, you did? Okay. Which one is you? I don't see it. Where you put it? Master Game at RF?
No. It should it should say Snow Pixel. No? You don't see that?
No, not yet.
Master Game at RF. I'm right above him.
It didn't come up. Maybe because you put a link, they didn't let it go through. I guess just send it to me on Instagram and I'll make a whole nother video about it. All right, so so Evolving AI art is a fascinating concept. I can see why people would want to buy into that. Yep. ETH is your coin of choice to invest in these. Can I use other crypto? Good question. So it's not that it's my coin of choice to use. It is the coin of choice for most NFT collectors. Whatever reason that is, I don't fully know, but I know it's because Ethereum was the first to create NFTs. So the biggest NFTs are all on the NFT platform. So like I said, CryptoPunks, Mooncats, these early NFT projects, people that bought Ethereum early, they had a bunch of Ethereum. So they bought these projects and they made them very valuable, because if you bought Ethereum when it was 1 cent and this cat costs 6 Ethereum, no problem, right? Cost you 6 cents. But right now, Ethereum costs $3,000. So it doesn't make sense for people like me and you that are buying it now, but it makes sense for the people that bought it early. So that same process is happening on other blockchains now. Solana, Avalanche, Cardano, but Ethereum was the first. So people believe it's going to be worth the most. Again, who knows? We will see. There's already on Solana NFTs being sold for millions of dollars. So this is going to happen on every blockchain. All right. So then the next one I bought was, okay, so Art Blocks. So I had been hearing about this project called Art Blocks for months, and it was just too expensive. Again, because I didn't understand, and I saw everything was like 5 ETH, 10 ETH to buy. I'm like, God, what the hell makes that so valuable? So when I started going down my deep dive, I went into artblocks.io. So what Artblocks is developed art. It's generative art, they call it. So these are curated projects by the generative art community. But what makes this, again, more valuable is this generative art is on the blockchain. So you're accessing computer code on the blockchain that triggers this art. So the only way to access this art is by accessing the blockchain that is on. So that concept was never done before. It's an amazing idea to put code that needs to be executed to show art, but it only can be executed off that blockchain. So this is the first one ever. It's called the Chrome Squiggle. There was a kid, I posted this on Instagram, sold one for $2.6 million because it's the first of the whole project, right? So again, I was studying it, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It's the first ever generative art on the blockchain. That's going to be valuable. But again, 10 ETH, 20 ETH, I don't have that. I'm not putting that. Right? So I said, all right, let me just keep studying it. So I started looking at the curated projects, and I literally went down one by one. Looked at all of them, said, all right, I like the way that looks. I don't like the way that looks. So then I found this one. I was on, so I went on here and I was looking at the floor again, right? You go to buy now and it starts showing you the cheapest ones. So I started looking, didn't like. And then I found this one. And it was, let me see. I could tell you how much I paid for it. It was 1.195 ETH. It's almost 2 ETH. It's a lot. But again, at that point, I understood two things with this one. One, it's on the first ever project like this. It's curated by the Art Blocks team. But the third part, this was the first piece of art that I said, I get the aesthetic thing now. Because watch what this art does. So if you got to look at this on the YouTube, when you use certain buttons, the art changes. So right now it's spiraling, but then I press D and it starts to shift and change. And this was the first generative art project that allowed you to control it. So I said, this is gonna be all right. Like somebody's gonna realize the first one that you can control is this. I think once people understand that, this one is gonna be worth money. And then after I bought it, guess what happens? It went to Sotheby's, and on the main guy's website, the guy who made this, it's, if you go to it, it's the first one on the website is the one I have. So I was like, all right, I probably did a good one with this. We'll see. But again, even if I never sell it, to me, I like it. Sometimes when I'm like, all right, I gotta think, I literally open it and just let it go, and I just stare into it and think. And that to me is the power of art, right? Like that's why people collect art. They put it on their walls, and it does something for them. So to me, this is that for me. Out of all the pieces I have, I say this is my favorite, pretty much. So again, we're coming up on 2 hours, but I'll keep going if people really want me to. I want to go through all my pieces of NFTs, and then I'm going to chop it out later and make them individuals. All right. So, and again, any questions from any of you? Just ask. All right. So, and then I started working with artists. I started talking to artists. I've been talking to one artist for a long time, maybe about 3 or 4 months. He's part of my Cracking Crypto Club. So if you want to take more advantage of all this crypto stuff, go to crackingcrypto.club. He's part of my club. He wanted to understand crypto to understand how to make NFTs. So he does this really cool kind of art where the words that the person spoke, he writes them out in a way that creates that person's face. And I was like, that is pretty freaking cool. So I said, you know what? He was about to be in a gallery in downtown, and he wanted to make NFTs. So he's like, can you please come help me? So I went to his studio and I helped him. He created his series, and I bought the first one. Of course, he gave me a discount. But again, he has a bunch, and he's been shown all over. Like his work is all over the place. Like I love this one, but I can't really afford it right this second, but I might buy it one day. So again, I helped this artist create his first piece. Maybe eventually, because I own his first ever NFT, if he explodes and he becomes world famous, I will own the first one ever, right? So that's kind of, again, why I look at historical plus visual. Like this is another one that I really liked it. I chose this one because I said, I want that one. I want the Martin Luther King one. And what it says is darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So I was like, I want that one. That's the one I want. Even more than Einstein. All right. So then I went and I started really trying to understand the gaming market. Because the gaming market, again, I thought it was going to be huge. So what's crazy is I'm in an art gallery with Paco, actually. Actually, Paco had left, and me and Sylvia were there, another person that works with us. And we're talking to this art gallery owner about NFTs. And this guy walks in, and they're shooting something on the gallery. They were shooting some video stuff. So I'm talking about NFTs, and the guy, and he has a shirt on that says Bitcoin conference. So I was like, oh, this guy knows about NFTs. And he's like, you're on NFTs? We need to talk. So he starts telling me, he's like, I just got into this crazy NFT where it's a game where you're going to be able to rent out your players and make money on people playing the game. It's a play to earn game. Remember I told you about that before in another one, where you can rent out your players and all the money that the person makes. So all day, every day, you could be renting out the players. So people that are playing games are making money, and you're making a percentage of all the money they make. I was like, that's pretty good. I like that idea. So he showed me, and again, it was on Mint. So it was the cheapest it could be. So I thought again about my kids. I was like, oh, this is another way of teaching my kids. So I said, all right, I have to own at least 3 that they're going to play with. And then I'm going to buy 2 more that I'm going to sell. As soon as I can get my money back, I'm going to sell. So I bought 5 of them. I don't remember. I think they were like 0.065 or something like that, which is like $80. I forgot. It was not that much. But again, because I have my own crypto bank, again, a lot of this money did not come out of my pocket. This came out of me borrowing off of my cryptocurrency to buy NFTs. So there's a pro and con to doing that, but I'm not putting in my own cash. I'm generating the cash and then I'm borrowing off of it to buy stuff like this, So, okay. Then these, of course, you can see that they're like weird little characters, but I showed them to my sons too. And they were like, yeah, this is going to be a good game, Dad. I think this game is going to be good. So I said, all right, I did good. Hopefully we'll see. And again, like there's a big NFL player that just got into this as well. So we'll see. Once the game launches, I'll sell 2 of them. If it makes sense to. If it doesn't, I'll just rent them out because they said you're going to be able to make $7 a day renting these characters. Minimum. So I paid like $80, $100, something like that. In a few days, I'll get my money back. Worst case scenario, right? But again, the only way you're going to be able to play this game is if you own the NFTs. So we'll see if that ends up working out. Where can I buy? Are you talking about these Bizojis? Go to Bizogia.com, right? And this is where they're going to have a coin, but they're already sold out. So now you got to go to OpenSea, which is here, but you can buy them. They're still pretty cheap. The cheapest one is $67. So if it really is true that you can make $7 a day, in 10 days, you get your money back. And what you said, Milan, these are on the Polygon blockchain. So the gas fee is less. So you gotta also know how to do the Polygon blockchain to buy these though. All right. So the next thing, this is where I'm getting to the end. Actually, before that, I did buy the land. I ended up getting enough mana to buy the land. But then when I was buying the mana land, the decentralized land, Decentraland, I said, what other land is available? So I looked at Sandbox. And again, I showed my kids. Sandbox is a game. It's a metaverse game land. And it's super popular now. I was just looking this morning. When I bought it, it was like $1,400. Now, the cheapest one is going for almost $2,000. Oh, no, that's not it. But whatever. The reason why I bought this one was because, one, it was gaming. And I knew, again, the gaming thing. They have a coin, owning land on a game. And then Snoop Dogg bought land on here and a bunch of people. And I bought land next to a CryptoPunk. So, again, I'm looking at long term. I see a lot of people playing in this world. Owning land is going to be able to make you money and give you access. I'll give you an example. I was in a room yesterday and somebody needed land to do something and there was nobody in the room with land except me. So it brought me an opportunity that now I have to partner with somebody just because I own land in these metaverses. So it's an opportunity to just be in the space. I do believe this land is going to be worth a lot more. The game hasn't launched yet. So once it launches, it's going to be worth even more. Again, that's how early we are in all this. But again, early is very risky because all this can go to zero or it can go to the moon, right? So you got to only invest money that you can afford to lose. And I'm not saying I'm investing money that I can afford to lose. I'm using this as I'm investing in this. I don't see it as gambling. I really believe all this stuff, most of it will come to fruition. Even when you invest in venture capital, there's funds of $100 million. 90% of those companies fail. 10% of them create billions of dollars for these investors. It's going to be the same thing with this. You can't invest in one thing and just hope that it's going to work. It's not how it works. Even great teams, great ideas, they fail for other reasons. You have to be in a few things for it really to pop off. So, and then I invested in this game because this game was like a pass to get into this game first and be able to buy land and everything. This game, when you look at the team, this game was created by the people who made Fortnite, Gears of War, Call of Duty, and Overwatch, and Decentraland. When I saw that, I said, holy shit, what a team. There's almost no way they could lose. So I said, okay, all you have to do is buy the ticket. This is genius, by the way. You buy the ticket, then you have early access to the game, to buy land, to buy character, whatever it happens in the game. But they haven't really built it yet. What did they do? They sold these tickets to fund the idea. That's what's happening here. You're buying these NFTs so you can fund the idea that they want to create. So as an entrepreneur, that's a really cool way of growing your project, right? Of getting investment money. Of course, legally, who knows? It's a lot of stuff there, but I like the idea and I'm looking at it. So I bought a pass. So when the game launches, I have early access, and eventually people are going to want these passes, right? Because if I come in and I buy my land, then I can sell the pass. So I'll be able to sell this pass probably for like 10, 20 times more than I bought it for, just the pass. Because I'll get in there early, buy land, and then sell the pass to pay for my land, right? So you got to think it all the way through. And that's how I'm doing all this. So that, and this game, that with those people behind it, man, it's crazy. So I bought that. It was like $175 when I bought it. Now it's $300. All right. And that was also on the Polygon blockchain. All right. So what else? All right. So these are the last ones. I just bought these in the last few days. So play is huge in gaming. Yes, you're right. The NFT in gaming is going to be massive. All right. So more questions. I see more questions. OpenSea is where you buy. Where do you buy? OpenSea mostly. Yes. I try to catch the mints though. So I'm like watching Discord, I'm watching Twitter, I'm watching Instagram. And when they launch, I go in, I look, I do my research, and I try to buy it on the mint. If I can't buy it on the mint, I go to OpenSea and I buy the floor. And then I try to buy one I like, even if it costs a little bit more than the floor. All right. So where can you find free NFTs? So what happens is a lot of times people give them out for free if you're in the right place, or there's some NFTs that they mint just for the mint cost, which is the gas fee. So like literally yesterday I was on Clubhouse. I went into a random room and the guy is giving away NFTs on his project. So I was like, I'll take one. Who knows? Maybe in 10 years, that project is worth a lot, and that free NFT. Do you know CryptoPunks? CryptoPunks is the #1 NFT, most expensive. Visa bought a CryptoPunk for $180,000 this year. This NFT is going to be worth the most ever. It's the first ever NFT. They were given away for free. People at the right place, the right time. Back then, nobody even knew this would be a thing now. So they were given away for free. Now they're worth hundreds of thousands, some millions. Some have been sold for millions. All right. So answer your questions. Cool. All right. So what else? All right. So I'm going to take the next one.
Are you going to NFTs.NYC?
What is that?
It's a big conference in New York City coming up November.
Send me the info. I don't know about it, so I gotta go.
There's like 12 events going on, bro. They first started with $2 tickets, sold out right away. Now they just expanded to 5,000, sold out right away. And now they're just trying to make a bunch of events around it. So I'll send you the details.
Yes, please. All right, so I'll promote it to the whole team, everybody in the community. So also, again, join the Discord, mass.asian.community. Milan is in there. Milan is also part of the Cracking Crypto Club. And actually this week, Milan's going to drop something super cool in the Cracking Crypto Club. So come through. Some real cool stuff. All right. So the last two I got were this roaring lions. Why did I do this? And this is where I started to exercise my strategy of 3. This was the first ever NFT mutual fund that says you will get passive income from it. What does that mean? When I first saw it, I'm like, what? What do you mean? Right? Mutual fund? So I looked in. Basically, what they're doing is they're flipping NFTs and giving the reward back to the people who own part of the NFTs. So basically, you're going to get rewards every time they flip NFTs. I don't know how it happens. It just started. I don't know how it's going to work. But again, I said, I want to own 3 of them just in case it works out. I'll be cool. I'll sell one to get my money back. And I think I paid, 0.065 for each of these. I caught it on mint. These took a little while to get to full mint. So I was a little worried about these. Like, I don't know if this is going to pay me back. But whatever, we'll see. The passive income thing, I'm trying to understand how they do it. Again, I'm investing to learn this year. So I'm in the Discord. I'm seeing how they do things. They just bought a Gary V NFT for 17 Ethereum. So in a way, that's another way for you to own, for me to own parts of NFTs I couldn't really afford. That's how I look at it, at least. So, but what happened was when I bought these, since it's on mint, it's random. What you get is random. So I ended up getting one that if you go to rarity tools, is pretty rare. Roaring Leaders. Then you go to the wallet. And this one, so look, this one has a rarity score of 62. Very plain, basic. So this is not just about the rarity when it comes to NFTs. There's also how it looks. If people like the way it looks, they're going to want to buy it. They don't really always care about the rarity number. They care about how it looks. And I think this is one of the kind of straightest looking man in a tie suit, lion one that I've seen out of all of them. So I'm like, yeah, maybe it sells. Who knows? Then this one's super crazy. I was like, this looks cool. It looks like a rainbow Fidel Castro, right? So I was like, I like this one. I'll probably keep this one. That was my idea. Then I got this girl one, and I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe this is the one I sell. But then I looked at the rarity score. Look at that. 200 rarity score versus the other ones are like 60 and 80. So this one is way more rare. So I'm not selling this one. And again, I'm in a mutual fund where I get to be in the Discord where they decide what they buy and how they think about flipping. So I'm learning how they're flipping NFTs at a high level. These guys are flipping like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of NFTs, and I'm getting to learn that. So that's part of my, again, I said this year, I'm just learning. I don't care. I'm thinking this whole year's tuition. I'm paying the tuition to learn this game in and out. So again, we'll see what happens to Roaring Leaders, but it is up. So if we look at the cheapest one right now, I remember I told you it was 0.065 when I bought it, and now it's 0.094. So it's up. The cheapest is up more than when I paid for it. And this was the last one I bought. This one was pretty crazy because, again, I'm doing my research, watching YouTube videos on Twitter, on Discord, and I heard somebody say Loopy Donuts. So I said, all right, it also offers passive income. Remember, I said, why are you buying this? I'm looking at it. I'm saying, I like the art. It gives passive income. But what am I going to learn around this one? So like with Roaring Leaders, I wanted to learn how they're flipping and making a lot of money flipping. So being in a community where that's what they do, that's awesome. So I did it. So with Loopy Donuts, I saw that you're going to be able to own the brand. They're going to do all kind of crazy stuff. And they're going to give you 50% of every resale. So the community that owns it is going to make 50% of every resale. So I was like, oh, okay. I like that. I want to see how they do it. So the first one I bought was this. Remember, I went to the floor and I bought the floor. I took the first one, the cheapest one was this. I bought it. It was, I forget, actually, tell me right here. I bought it for 0.069. Again, like $80 or something like that, right? I could tell you the exact price because it wasn't that too many days ago, even though Ethereum did go up since. So you could go, oops. So you can go into CoinGecko, you put the amount of Ethereum, and it'll tell you, whoa, so wait, I bought $250. Wow, I didn't know I paid that much. Okay, so $250. Wait, no, but Ethereum went up. It was probably around 3,000 when I bought it, whatever percent. It was not 250 for sure. So then I keep hearing people talking about it. And I'm like, this is kind of popping. Like a lot of people are talking about it. And again, I go into the Discord and I said, man, this might go crazy. So I said, all right, I need to own 2 more. So I said, one I want to really like. I got to like it. So I bought this one because I really liked it. And I think it was, it's all right here, 0.079. So again, Ethereum was less. So probably, I feel like I paid maybe 300 with gas all in, something like that, right? So I said, all right, 2, I own 2, but remember, I need my 3rd. So what I said was, all right, I'm going to look for one that's rare because it was starting to pop. It was starting to pop. So I looked at this one and it had a good rarity score. So, and it was 0.08. So it was a little more, but I said, you know what? Again, taking my 3 idea, what I'll do is once it really starts popping off, I'll sell this one for all my money back, and I'll keep these 2. And when if it ever gets really crazy, I'll sell the rare one and just keep this one. This one I don't ever want to sell, right? Because it's from New York, has a Galaxy glazed on it. I like Galaxy. I'm a space guy, and it has the cool glasses. I was like, I'm going to make t-shirts of this, which I can because I own it now. When you own this NFT, you can do anything you want with it. So, of course, I want to make t-shirts in the metaverse for it. I could do a bunch of stuff. So I wake up this morning and look at what the cheapest one is now. .2 Ethereum. No, that's bid. So when you have bid, you can bid lower prices. But when you buy now, that's the one. That's the price people are willing to take right now. 0.2. So it went up to $715 minimum. And I told you I have one that's really rare. Not really rare, but kind of rare. So again, that doubled that investment of the one. But it still hasn't got to the point where I can get my all 3 back, which is about $900. I'll say $1,000. So the second, not the second, when I think I can sell it for over $1,000, I'm going to sell the first one. Then I have house money. And I'm going to still get 50% on 2 of the other ones of every resale, right? So then my goal is I'll wait as long as I have to. I'll wait, and then I'll sell the one with the wings for as much as people are willing to give me. If it's, you know, but again, I got to be a number that makes sense, right? Because I don't have to sell it anymore because I got my money back on the first one. So that's how, you know, I'm thinking about it right now. But I am taking a chill pill on the NFTs right now. I want to see how these play out. But here's why I'm talking about it today is because as crypto goes up and down, NFTs are affected. So when it goes up, the value of these are going up because the crypto that you buy it in Ethereum is going up. So if you look at it that way, the value goes up just because of the Ethereum, right? But when it goes down, the value comes down, right? But that is a good time to get more Ethereum because, like, let's say, here's an example. Let's say this one right here. I told you I want to get my money back for all 3. So if I say all 3 are 0.3 Ethereum, right now 0.3 Ethereum is about $1,000. But what about if Ethereum goes down to $2,000? 0.3 Ethereum now is $600, right? No. Let me do the math. It's about, wait, 2,000 times 0.03. Sorry, $600, right? So 0.3 Ethereum is about $600. 0.3 Ethereum right this second is $1,000, right? So it goes down to 600, and there I can say I'll take 0.35 Ethereum, right? So now let's say it's at 2,000 times 0.35, that's $700. That person may think that's a good deal. I'll buy it. But now I have more Ethereum. So when the Ethereum comes back up, I have that value, right? So that's how you can think about these ups and downs. And what happens is when Bitcoin goes up, that first day it goes up, the altcoins come up right behind it. It's kind of like a whale in the ocean. It takes everything with it. But those things that are less hefty, they go up more. So like when Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up more. The other altcoins go up more. The percentage of it grows up in more value of percent. The coin cost is a whole nother thing, but the percent that it grows goes up a lot. So because Ethereum is the second biggest one, it's going to follow the same thing. So people believe in the next day or so, Ethereum is going to pump a little bit and then come back down. It's a wave, right? So the way I see it is I'm waiting for the right moment to get more Ethereum out of this. So it could be when the price goes down, I'll list it for 0.3 and then I'll have my initial investment back plus some, right? So that's how I see it. And then, you know, the idea of hopefully these things keep going up in value. And, you know, and here's another thing. Once they launch the repayment process of the 50%, that's going to boost the value. So I'm thinking that's around the time I'm going to sell the first one. So when they're about to start paying people, I'm going to be like, I'll take 0.4, you know, and then I up my Ethereum and I'm now it's all gravy from here. Same thing with Roaring Leaders. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Once they start paying people out and that's a schedule and they're talking about it and they're right about that time, I'm going to sell one of my Roaring Leaders for the price that I bought all three and then some. So that's my strategy when it comes to NFTs right now. Again, any questions from anybody? Is it still going on Clubhouse? Did I end it? Any questions from anybody on Clubhouse or anywhere else? That's pretty much my strategy. Anything? Any questions, thoughts? No? All right. So on that note, I will end this stream and oh wait, somebody wants to come up. Somebody has a question. You got a question, Jeff?
Yeah, can a group of people own an NFT?
So there are people starting to do that. I'm not sure how legal it is.
You can do so what's it called? It's called a multi-sig wallet. And basically that multi-sig wallet is just you guys having access to that one wallet, right? So let's say me and Miguel own the wallet together. It would have two confirmations. So it would have one confirmation that a transaction is happening and then also alert Miguel and he has to confirm it too.
Yeah, so we both have to do something. It's kind of like the nuclear codes, like both people have to turn the keys to launch a nuke, right? Same idea. Multi-sig wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a good point because that's going to happen. They're going to start fractionalizing ownership of NFTs. So like for instance, the crypto punks, those are worth millions of dollars. So what that person is going to be able to do is he's going to be able to say, okay, I own it 100%. It's worth $1 million, but I'm willing to split it with you at the value at $1.5 million. So now you guys can split and own part of it with me, but he's going to make money on splitting it with you. And then if he decides to sell it or she, you'll all split the value, but she already got their money, right? Because they basically put up the asset for you all to get in on the rise of it. So that's starting to become a thing too. It's not there yet, but the multi-sig wallet is how a lot of these DAOs do it. And I don't know, do you know anything else about that, Milan? Any other tips like that you could give anybody on buying NFTs with other people?
I know you can make NFTs with other people. Let's say you have a collection and you want to add a collaborator on OpenSea, you can do that. So if you're minting something, you're I want a person, you can do that too as well.
So yeah, so like we make one together. Me and Paco actually did this as a test. You make it and then you put the two wallet addresses that are going to get the fees and the resale value. That's what all this stuff makes NFTs so crazy. Like when you really think about, if you rewatch this and you think about all the different ideas that I've invested in for not that much money, like I bought virtual land. I bought gaming assets that I could rent out. I bought into a mutual fund. I bought into a profit share community of a brand, right? Like I bought into generative AI art that goes up in value because it evolves. There's so many things that all these NFTs have different ways of giving you a benefit aside from the aesthetic, right? Which is what normal art does, right? And like people collect Batman figurines, right? To have them in their house. They pay a lot of money for that just to see it because they may think it's going to be worth more one day, but it's probably more about they like seeing it, right? So this is where you got to think about with NFTs. There's two sides. You're either collector or an art collector, right? Collecting for collection's sake or collecting for art's sake. But then there's this third level that's becoming a thing, and it's going to be a thing, which is access to the metaverse, right? So this is where the land, I knew when I saw the land, that's going to be opportunity. Owning land in the metaverse is going to be opportunity. And I'm already getting it, and I don't even have anything on the land, right? So imagine when there's millions of people going through these metaverses, which there will be. There will be. Right now, we're on a metaverse in a way. We're in Clubhouse. You guys, we're not in the same room. Whoever's watching on YouTube, whoever's watching on wherever else, we're interacting and we're not in the same room. That's along the lines of the metaverse. But the difference of the metaverse is there is a place where we all can visually be represented and move in that same environment. That's where the Fortnites of the world, the Roblox of the world, if you have children, they're all doing this all the time. That's where they hang out. And those two environments are centralized. There's only two companies that own them, and they make all the money from it. But now they're creating decentralized versions where we can do stuff in them and make the money from it. So that's why it's such a huge opportunity. It just really started. I told you, Sandbox doesn't even exist yet. And Snoop Dogg has land in it. And you can buy land in there for $2,000 right now. I know that sounds like a lot of money. But in 10 years, when that is as big as Roblox or Fortnite, is $2,000 going to be a lot? Probably not. They're saying in Sandbox, if you buy one plot of land, which is that's what I got, you're going to be able to walk for 2 minutes on that land and create games on that land. Think about that. Walk for 2 minutes. That means it's pretty big, right? And you could do games on it that people make. You make money from the games on your land. This is crazy stuff, man. This is like having a store in Times Square where you don't need employees and you don't need no rent. Like, this is the type of opportunity of NFTs. And then I'll take it to the bank. You know, I teach people how to create their own crypto bank. You're going to be able to borrow off your NFTs. Milan just showed me a few websites on the Discord. You're going to be able to take your NFT and borrow off of it the same way these people with $1 million art collections can borrow off their art. You're going to be able to do that off NFTs. So if you haven't yet, go to miguelislive.com to take the poll. I want to see. So far, everybody who's watching owns an NFT that's taking the poll. If you don't own an NFT, I want to see the true percent because I'm sure most of you don't. All right. So Rally is selling shares of a couple crypto punks. So already,
Mike, refresh that page.
All right. I'm refreshing. Oh wow. All right. A lot of people voting. All right. So 75% do not own NFTs. All right. See? All right. So this is the thing, right? We got to get on it because I'm telling you, this is the future of business, the future of owning stuff, the future of generational wealth is going to be NFTs. I bet you anything, people are going to sell their houses as NFTs in the future. Think about that. If you're the first person to be able to sell the house as an NFT and then you can put a 1% resale on it, that means for the rest of time, whenever that house is sold, 1% will go back to your family. Who the hell is not going to do that? And this is going to happen with everything. Of course, I sound like a crazy person because this is the first time you're hearing about it or you've been hearing about it. But in 20 years, you'll be like, you were right. Just like with the internet. I was there early. I called all this stuff. Most people didn't believe me. Now, believe me, please. Buy cryptocurrency and get in this NFT game. It will change your life. All right. So on that note,
Mike told me at 13 to buy Google stock.
Yeah. So Jeff. I taught Jeff's school when he was in junior high school. I was teaching him how to code. And Jeff was the only guy in the class paying attention. It was in Washington Heights. And now Jeff works for Apple. So it worked. All right. So on that note, let me see. There's another question. Will you go more into depth about creating an NFT in the future? I actually have a video on my channel about how to do it. I did one from start to finish on my channel. So I don't know who that is, but if you text me or tweet me or Instagram, I'll send you the link. All right. So
how do you get more involved in the mint process?
How do you do it? Through OpenSea. OpenSea.
No, I mean, like, how do you explore?
Oh, how do you find the ones that are about to mint?
Yeah.
So that is where the homework. You got to do a lot of like seeing what people are talking about on Twitter. Twitter is the main place to find this stuff. Instagram is good. Discord is huge. If you're in the different Discords, people start talking about the next upcoming projects. That's another reason why I bought the Roaring Leaders, because I knew they're going to be on the next big projects because they have to. That's how their business is going to be making money. They're flipping NFTs as a business. So they need to find the best ones early. So I'm in the Discord because I own an NFT, right? And that's buying access to the community that you want to understand, right? And I paid for that access, and hopefully I'll reap the reward. We'll see. But the knowledge in itself is good enough for me. So on that note, unless there's any more questions, if you got more questions, go for it. But if not, I gotta go pick up my kids. I gotta end the YouTube stream at least. But we can keep talking on Clubhouse if you guys want to. But I'll end the YouTube. Thanks for anybody who watched anywhere or anytime you watch this. Definitely go to crackingcrypto.club and definitely go to miguelislive.com for whatever the current poll is whenever you watch this. Right now, I'm trying to find out who owns NFTs. Hopefully, next time I do this poll, it will be 100%. And from that, I'll end this, and we can keep talking on Clubhouse if you guys want to.